Using Word to create a publisher-like take-home notice. You might be tempted to use Publisher to create a notice like this to send home with students. This video shows you how to recreate the same thing in Word, which will mean that the file is saved in a much smaller size and you'll be able to share the file with other people. Let's have a look. This notice here is 2 copies of the same text with a border. I'm going to use a table in Word to create the same thing. First of all, I need to change the layout of Word so that the margins are narrow. I go to Layout, Margins, and click Narrow. When I'm thinking about tables, if I've got a blank space here, I need to include that as an extra row. So I'm going to insert a table that is 1 column across and 3 rows. Let's do that. Insert, Table, 1 column across, 3 rows. I'm then going to make these rows a bit bigger so that they fit on the page. And then I'm going to center my whole table. I'm going to click on my table, right click, go to Table Properties and click on Center. Also, while I'm in here, I'm going to have a look at the rows. And then under Row, I want to do Specify Height. I want to change this to exactly, and I'm going to keep it, or try, 13 centimeters. The next row I want to keep as is, and the next one I'm going to change to 13, making sure that it's clicked on exactly. I don't want to allow the row to break across pages. Okay, now these 2 rows are exactly the same size. I've got a picture and I've got some text. So I'm going to copy the picture across. And I'm going to have a look at the formatting. So I'm going to click on Picture Format, and this time I'm going to click on Wrap Text. I don't want the picture in front of text because I want the text to go around the picture. So I'm going to put it as tight and move it up. And in here I want it to be a fixed position on the page. That means that as I'm typing, my picture won't move. Let's copy the text across. Now I'm not too happy with my formatting, so I'm going to put in a space there and a space there, and I'd like my name to go across to the other side. So under paragraph I'll switch to Write a Line. Might want this down as well. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to copy that all in to my row below. Now it's given me an extra row, which is okay. I can just highlight that and click on Delete and Delete Row. Now the last thing I want to do is my borders. You can see here it's a thick border and there's no border here. That means I can easily cut it. So let's click on our table, go to Table Design, and first of all I'm going to choose No Border and click on Border Painter. That way I can get rid of those 2 borders there. Now I still just want a line, so I'm going to choose that line, but I want it to be a bit thicker. So I'm going to choose 3 points. And then I can click where I want that border to appear. If I click off, I just need to click back on Border Painter. Now I've gone over to 2 pages, so I'm going to be a bit cheeky and just get rid of that bottom border. The other thing I don't like about this is that the text goes right out. So if I highlight my text, I'm just going to bring that little white dash in and that little white dash in there, and then that will make it nice and aligned. Again, I'll highlight my text and do the same thing. And there I have my take home notice. If I wanted to make this a bit bigger, I could. So I might change my table properties and make my row 12 instead of 13. And in the middle, I might specify the height as 2 centimeters. And there I've got 2 take-home notices to send to parents.